Now, the one thing when you're driving these type of vehicles that you have to be careful of is the fact that, well, you're in electric mode, and people that you might be in a mall or something like that, they don't know that you're moving up on them quite quietly. So you have to pay a little more attention to pedestrians. They don't hear your engine running because the gas engine is not running. So pay attention to that they may not see you. Now we're turning here, we're turning onto a major road, we're accelerating, and right here, the tachometer just jumped on. And that means our engine is running and functioning. And so we're using now the engine power to take care of our speed. And it'll stay that way as long as we stay up to 20 miles an hour. Is going to stay in that mode. Now, as you notice here, we have a couple different displays here on this particular vehicle. You can also get if you get the nav system, you have a much more information about the hybrid system that comes up and shows you what's operating and what's going on now, which is nice, and a lot of people like that. But that's built into the nav system. In the regular system, you can see this has 3.1 or 31.5 miles per gallon is the fuel economy. In actuality, when we actually tested the vehicle by putting in gas and putting in the exact amount again and really checking it, we got 33 miles to the gallon out of this, even though it's saying 31. So it's actually doing a little better than it's suggesting. Now, as we come up here and stop, if you watch the tachometer and the speed at the same time, we're going to start braking very slowly. And as we come to a stop, boom, the engine has just cut off and it's gone into green or electric mode. We're still moving. We're moving along quite nicely. We're doing 20 some miles an hour. Now, if you watch that tachometer right now and I speed up, the engine will come back on and take over, assisting the electric system. And this goes on constantly, back and forth. The computer takes care of everything. The computer adjusts everything as needed, when needed, for the vehicle. On this side, there is a charge assist meter, and it stays pretty much in its neutral position unless you're braking or you're going fast. Right now, we're sitting at a light, and the system is quiet, shut down completely. We're going to start up. Okay, and again, we're going to start in that battery mode. Now, if I press on this pretty good, you can see there's quite a bit of an acceleration here. I mean, I just got up to 55, 60 miles an hour in that amount of time. That's pretty quick. And people think hybrids are slow. Well, this is using that electric high torque motor and the gas 4-cylinder together, and it is really moving pretty fast. It'll definitely get out of the way. It is not wimpy by any stretch of the imagination. These things get up and go pretty nicely. Okay, now we're cruising along. The gas engine's running at its most efficient mode. The transmission's running in its most efficient mode. Now, one thing that you will notice with this vehicle that is different than a lot of other vehicles, most people are familiar with the tack ratio depending on your gears. So in other words, you'll know that at a certain tack, you're going to getting a certain amount of speed out of that. That's not the case with this vehicle. This vehicle can rev up and actually have the tack going much faster at any time it wants to. The computer determines to generate the most efficient gas energy out of that gas engine that it needs. So don't be surprised if that is higher than you might expect sometimes, because it feels it needs to have that efficiency, or that is the most efficient way to do it. Now again, as we come to a stop, we're going to turn around and do a U-turn here. We're totally in electric mode, totally quiet. And we're going to go down this hill, and what we're going to see is, if we actually brake on this hill, like we're going down a mountain or something like that, you can see the charge going way up, okay? And the engine actually just turned off. We're going down a hill. As far as the system's concerned, it does not need the gas motor to go down a hill. All it needs is the braking system, and that's it. And it will glide in the electric mode and only come on again when we accelerate, like now. Again, we saved power. We turned off that engine going down the hill. It wasn't necessary for running this vehicle at all. The other thing about these particular vehicles too is that the air conditioning and stuff has a lot to play with how much and how energy efficient it's going to be, maybe even more than a regular car. If you turn the AC on in this area where you can see it's not in the orange, okay, anything in the orange will pull the most from your system. It basically tells your engine, do not turn off, continue to run constantly. So it shuts down, in a sense, the hybrid mechanism at that point and runs as a 4-cylinder vehicle, still having the electric assist, but if you're normally driving this car and you want the AC on, then keep it in this AC mode for the most efficient. And this will take care of itself and still run in its hybrid mode. Same with the defrost. If you put the defrost all the way over too, it takes over. These vehicles in the winter do heat up a little faster than most normal cars by a small degree, not a huge degree, but nice. Now, with the constant variation transmission system, if I step on this gas to get us more speed, you can see the tach goes up, but you don't hear it shift. It's just constantly going up in speed. As a matter of fact, I've even got to slow down here because I'm going too fast all of a sudden, very quickly. But if you keep doing that, there is no shift. You don't feel it. You don't feel that at all. The only transition points you feel are when the vehicle shifts from hybrid mode to electric mode, or to gas mode, I should say. That you'll get a little bit of you'll see and feel a little bit of shift when it does that. You'll feel less of it in the 2008 since it does that a little smoother. Okay, in the charge system, again, when you apply these brakes, you see the charge go up. That's because all the braking is actually being done by the hybrid system. The hybrid system is generating power back to the battery when you do that. And when we go forward and we accelerate and we need more power, it actually is in assist mode, which assist just means, hey, I'm using the electric system and the gas system to get you the power that you need. That's the differences between those two. But the unique thing about braking is we now do, and we're applying just a little bit of brake. When we apply a little bit of brake, we're actually using the hybrid system to brake the car down, to break its inertia, okay, and its kinetic energy going forward. We're actually transforming that into electrical power. Now, what's unique about that is, we said before, this really cuts down on the wear and tear of your brakes. And you actually have to drive this car just a little different in that mode, okay? And by doing that, you're always probably taught, don't ride your brake. Well, in this particular case, riding your brake before you get to a stop, in other words, braking earlier, is actually going to generate power back to your electrical system. And that's a good thing. And you're not wearing out your brakes because it takes a certain amount of pedal pressure. And once you get past a certain amount of pedal pressure, then it'll apply the disc brakes all the way around. Otherwise, it's applying the hybrid system to slow the vehicle down. Now, the great thing about this is, in a sense, you have two braking systems. One is the hybrid, which is engaging at a certain amount of pedal pressure, but once you get past it, once you get into an emergency or something happens or you have to stop suddenly, you're applying the full braking system when you mash down on that brake. It's going to engage everything and it's going to bring you to a stop. One of the things that people have said is, well, the brakes are a little grabby when it's raining. Well, that's true, because in a normal braking situation, you're constantly drying out the brakes, you're constantly using them. In this system, you're not doing that. So that's a little bit of a trade-off. Another thing, too, is that when people talk about the charging system, a lot of people out there in forums are talking about, hey, you can hook up a kit to these hybrid cars and charge them with the power and charge the vehicle up that way. Hey, that's not a good idea. This battery in this car was designed to not charge at 100%. It actually stays at a lower amount than that because the Ford engineers found out that if you don't charge it all the way, you don't run the batteries out. You don't wear them out. They'll last a lot longer for you. You get a lot more serviceability out of them. So don't get any kit to try to retrofit it. Not only will it void your great warranty on this vehicle, but also it will actually ruin your system. Don't do that. Leave it alone. This is a vehicle that's designed to be driven like a regular car with a few slight modifications in driving behavior, and that's it. Otherwise, it'll take care of you. It'll get you really good gas mileage and it'll last a long time. So we're pulling back in with our 2006 Escape. Now, the 2008s are out, and we're selling those, but they are hard to get. They've been quite difficult. We've got some coming in, so try to check with us at Indian Head Ford. Our number's 301-638-0972. And give me a call, Mark. And we'd be glad to see if we can find some of these hybrids for you. We know a lot about these hybrids. We can certainly help you out with knowledge base about those, and any questions that you have, feel free to call us or email us at mark@ihford.com. And remember that gas is probably isn't going to get any cheaper, and hybrids are going to be the vehicles to go. There's a lot of other unique fuels coming out and a lot of other unique properties coming out and components coming out to try to make high mileage vehicles probably not going to see them right away. What we're going to see is manufacturers use hybrid. So if you want high mileage, go hybrid.